everyone, welcome to another video. It is a cold and very foggy day and I am in my warm hoodie, so please excuse me for being dressed down. But what I want to bring to you today, what I want to update you on is following on from a video that I did, I want to say 6 months ago or something like that. It was in 2024 and some of you might remember it. It's to do with a lawsuit that has been brought by three consumers in the States. I don't know whether they know each other. They must know each other in some capacity. But these three consumers have come together and under US antitrust laws, they have brought a case against Hermès. And the foundation of this case is essentially that a controversial practice of tying customers by requiring them to purchase their items to demonstrate their worthiness actually breaches rules in the US. And what I want to talk about in this video, we're going to go through this practice. Is it fair? How do you feel about it? And I want to update you on some of your feedback that you gave me in the last video, actually, because I had like a 60-40 split. I want to say over how you felt about this whole practice, whether you thought it was right or wrong. I also want to talk to you about a conundrum I've got, because there is an Hermès bag that I have my eye on and I might just do it. But for any of you who own the bag, I would like to get your input on it before I make that decision. And of course, we're going to go through the updates to this case, because there have been some updates. So October 14th, 2024, there was an article that came out and it spoke about this court case that's been brought by these three customers. And it said that they have basically, in short, they've revised their lawsuit because I think it went to court. They were up against a rather sceptical judge who didn't quite buy what they were saying. So what they've added in now is fraud claims and false advertising by Hermès. And the base issue here is obviously one of these, or all of these customers were after a Birkin or a Kelly or something that was hard to get. They were declined it because maybe they hadn't bought enough bits and pieces, trinkets, scarves, shoes, stuff none of us really needs in vast quantities. And they were declined it, and obviously they have then looked into this and they've decided to take it to court, which is like, you must really want a bag to bother taking it to court. But I know that a lot of us on that last video were saying, wow, you know, if this goes through court and if they win and Hermès lose, what does this mean for Hermès in the States? Would they potentially pull out of the States if they were having their hand forced on being forced to mass produce bags to sell to anyone? What would this mean for the rest of the world? So many questions to be answered. And I actually said in that last video, I can't see Hermès suddenly mass producing bags just for the States and not for anywhere else. So if it really came to it, which I don't think it ever will, if Hermès were put against the wall on this, they'd probably just pull out of the States, I would imagine. Because their whole USP is their not very fair practices of making you buy a load of stuff that you don't need to be in with a chance of possibly getting the bag. And according to this lawsuit, and I have just a little quote that I want to read out here, it says, the consumers contend Hermès is violating US antitrust law by tying the purchase of other products to the ability to buy a Birkin bag. The amended lawsuit added false advertising and fraud claims. Hermès and its sales staff know that many of the people they introduce to buy ancillary products will not in fact get a Birkin bag, according to the lawsuit. So what they're kind of saying here, what the consumers are saying, is that you play the game, because that's what it is, it's a game. People do these journey videos where they have to jump through hoops to get what it is that they want. You play the game of buying, plate sets, sandals, belts, costume jewellery, dishes, you know, all this stuff. Like, I've heard some people having to spend over £10,000 in what I want to call kind of designer junk in a way. I mean, you know, it's nice to have a belt and a scarf, what have you, but when you're forced to buy like 100 scarves and 5 belts and like 1 million pairs of sandals, or that gets excessive, and I think that's another reason why the resale market on Hermès is so abundant. So I see so much stuff on Pre-Loved, not used items, belts, shoes, what have you, and who's to say that they aren't things that are being sold by consumers that are being indirectly sort of like forced to go and buy stuff they don't need or really want, to be in with a chance of getting the bag of their dreams. And because they've already got like 1 million pairs of sandals, they're going to go and start selling off the other ones they're having to buy. Just going back to another quote. So there is an ex-antitrust lawyer in the States, Donato, and that's his surname. And he has said, Hermès can run its business any way it wants. If it chooses to make 5 Birkin bags a year and charge $1 million to them, it can do that. He's added, the fact that a lot of clients may not be able to get a Birkin bag is not an Hermès antitrust problem. Again, it goes back to the point I was thinking, I understand this antitrust law exists, but I don't see how you can force a company to change its core values of not mass producing items just to, do you see what I mean? That's a core value of Hermès. Everyone knows that they are all about not being able to walk in store and buy something off the shelf. That's not an Hermès thing. Hermès is all about like groveling for it in a way, kinda. And so I don't think it would be fair to force their hand on it. And it's the kind of thing that I, as I said earlier, I could see them actually leaving the US if they were forced to comply with this. Going back to that point I already said, if you want a belt, you want a belt, you go and buy a belt. If you want a scarf, you buy a scarf. But being forced inadvertently, without it being said but it being implied, that you have to buy 10, 20, 30, 100,000 pounds or dollars worth of stuff to be considered for a bag is enough to put a lot of people off. And I know a lot of you have said to me, my goal was a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance, and I know a lot of you have said you've either ended up paying overs and you've bought it secondhand, or you've gone to another brand. And I don't think Hermès care. This is very much part of their heritage, their USP, their identity is about not having an abundance of products. And what that does is it creates exclusivity on, and it's elitism basically, but it creates exclusivity on, I think, one of the highest levels possibly. So that's the court case. No real updates as yet. The only real updates is that it doesn't look like they're getting anywhere, so they've added in claims of false advertising and fraud. So I'll continue to keep an eye on it and see where it goes, and I will of course update you. Now for this bag. Okay, I've got to show you this bag. I almost don't want to show you this bag because I don't want it to sell out, but there is a bag, and it's on Luxury Promise, and I am absolutely in love with it. And I don't know a lot about Hermès. This is why I would like your opinion on this, please. This is the bag. I don't know much about Hermès. I don't know a load when it comes to, like, I know that it's pretty scientific when it comes to date stamps and leathers and colours and sizes and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm pretty clueless on it and I'm really trying to learn. Hermès is a brand that I always said I wasn't really into, and I used to have a lot of you, going back like 5 years ago, I was like, I would never buy Hermès, and then I got my eye caught by the Constance, and the Birkin 25, I like that bag, but this bag, do you say picotin? Is that how you say it? Can someone please tell me? I need to look into that. But this this bag is one that I just saw it and I was like, wow. I've seen Constance bags before that I've really wanted, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But that bag is just so cute, and I love its soft, supple nature. There's something about it, and I like that size. That's in the 18. I think there's a mini size one, which looks too small for me, but the 18 is just like perfect. And then there's a 22, which is a bit bigger than what I'd want. So the 18 for me is just on the money. David said to me, he was like, do you want me to try and get one from actual Hermès? And I was like, wow, I mean, you are full of yourself for thinking that that would be possible. But he's like, no, I'll just go in and ask, and you never know, I might get lucky with one. And I was just like, no. Well, you can try if you wish, but I think I'm just gonna go Luxury Promise. I really like Luxury Promise. You can trust their authentication. I love the girls that work there. They're just a nice company, and I love the bag they've got. It's a 2024 bag, which is what? It's a W stamp. It comes with the box, with the ribbon, and with the receipts, and with the little lock and the keys as well. Because sometimes on some of the older bags, people have lost the keys, and obviously you need the keys for the lock. So I'm really quite excited about this, and I just think it's the cutest bag I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some cute bags, but this one is really nice. So for any of the Hermès customers, fans watching, should I get this bag? Is this a good bag to get? What do you think about the colour? I did think to myself, can I pull off orange? But I think I can already think about ways that I would style this. And it's just the fact that it's that Hermès orange which interests me. But what are the best colours to buy in Hermès? Is that such a thing? I don't want to get a black bag because I feel like I've got a load of black bags. I want something that's a bit different. I was looking at, is it a taupe? E-taupe, the grey sort of taupey colour. I really like that colour. And I was looking at a dark grey. But if you are in the know, please can you let me know below what you think of this bag. As I say, should I get it? What's a good colour to get it in? Do you have it? How do you find it as a bag? Just like all of these questions, I feel like I want to have answered. And if and when I get it, I will of course come and show you. But do you know, going back to that point I was saying earlier, I never liked Hermès. And I used to have a lot of you saying to me in videos, do you know something? I didn't like Hermès, but then as I got older, my taste changed. And I'm feeling the same. I don't know what's happening to me. I used to buy bags with like huge logos on them, and I still do from time to time. But actually, a lot of the bags I've been buying of late have been non-designer. They've been like Coach or Cambridge Satchel Company, that sort of brand. David did get me a Fendi bag at Christmas, peekaboo, no logos on it. And in fact, my Deal book tote, which is on a table just behind you, I have not used that in a very long time. It's just sat there. I should sell it really, because it's covered in the oblique logo. And I feel now when I carry it, I feel a bit, people stare at that bag and it just attracts attention that I'm not particularly in the mood for. So I've stopped using it. And I think maybe this has got something to do with growing up a bit and my taste changing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm warming towards Hermès. I also really like Celine. I really like their bags with their, you know, it's got the little gold plaque on the front. I'm really into their bags as well. But let me know what you think. But what do you think? Is that the problem with Hermès? Is their tying of customers a problem? Are you a customer? Do you agree with their practice? Do you like it? Or are you a customer and you're like, no, it's wrong. I had to jump through hoops and spend a lot of money to get this bag and it was wrong and it's not fair. I want to know everything from you, so please share all of your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.